Hello and welcome. Today we have a VOD review on Nepal. Looks like we got a Master Tracer. I've never seen this video before, so I'll be commenting in real time. So let's get into it. Okay, so, wow, are you keeping this May? Okay, so you're running the, well, yeah, like a 2 DPS, 2 healer, and then kind of like the main tank with the D.Va main tank, and the kind of the off tank with the May, who will supplement as DPS. So actually, let's see if you keep this. I don't see any switches. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, this is awesome. Yay. Okay, so let's talk about this. Cool. So May's actually, in my opinion, she's really strong. I don't know what patch this is on, if this is before or after like the patch with Doomfist and the Reinhardt changes. But actually, I think May is an excellent character to run into dive. She can split up teams. She can be so threatening to D.Vas and to Genjis. So I shouldn't say threatening, just like a nuisance. Like she can actually nullify a lot of what makes them strong. So cool. Let's talk about as Tracer how you need to play this. Actually, this is a really cool comp, but Tracer kind of functions in such a way, kind of like the old Roadhog, where her team comp doesn't affect her playstyle too much in the same way that a lot of other characters do, where they have to like drastically change their playstyles. Tracer can actually function pretty similarly, regardless of team comps, within reason, of course. Cool. So that being said, if you watch any of my videos, you know that I like hard, deep flanking as Tracer. So for Nepal here, in general, I think this right side is better for Tracer to find flanks. And yeah, we'll kind of play it by ear, but let's let this run. Love the May. That's awesome. I can't wait to see this work or not work. Okay, so a couple of red flags. Actually, and I noticed at the beginning that you kind of hesitated when your team came out of spawn. Was it like right here?
Round one.
This actually hurts you a little bit. And actually, okay, you do blink. So as Tracer, you kind of want to be the first one on the flanks, like ahead of your team as much as possible. This is actually kind of a bad start, to be honest. So we'll see what happens. Let's go back a little bit. Okay, so did we hear a Tracer on the left? Yes, we did. Okay, interesting. Wow, she's going for... Okay, so the thing about solo queue is that for these first match, for the first attack on every King of the Hill round, 99% of the time, everyone's just gonna rush for either the point or for like, you know, the high ground or whatever, typically. So depends on the map. And then you just get like a fight instantly, right? Which drives me crazy because you have 30 seconds until the point unlocks. There's absolutely no reason to just, you know, immediately go for a fight. You can actually set up and take your time. There's plenty of time. Anyways, I digress. So that Tracer, what she's doing actually for a scrim or for like an actual match, actually I like what that other Tracer's doing, getting a nice deep flank. For solo queue, would not recommend a super deep flank like that, specifically on the first fight, because team, you know, your YOLO queuers are just gonna go and bash their head against the wall and die or get kills. So, and you know, on the flip side of that, we got this Tracer who's actually being a little bit too timid. I need this Tracer to be more aggressive, ideally with the flanks. Right now, if we kind of just compare the two Tracers, she's already on your side of the map and you're still on your side of the map. So that's kind of a big red flag. Okay, cool. So ideally where I'd like you to be at this point. So at this point in time, I'd like you to be roughly like, oh, sorry about that. Like kind of roughly like in this general area over here, like kind of on your opponent's side by that. Oh, I don't know how to describe it. Let's just kind of just this general area over here. Just that general area. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. Let's just go back. Okay. And just so I can kind of critique this, it feels like right here, you heard that Tracer and you reacted to her kind of you reacted to her movements and her blink so that you can kind of put pressure on her. And actually I like that. So I don't want to knock on you too hard because you were on this side of the map. You had a decent reason to do that. But again, I would have liked you on that right side in the first place and kind of going for that general area. But again, I want to give you bonus points for kind of making sure that this Tracer didn't cause havoc on your backline. Yeah, cool. And actually, speaking of, who are you running again? Who's your other healer? Is it Lucio? It's Lucio, okay. And the McCree, okay. So not much of a backline. Okay, cool. That's enough setup. Let's get into this. Cool. Try and pressure.
Yo, Winston's chrono.
Tracer, no recall. Tracer 1.
Okay, that's a good recall. I like it.
Need help, need help.
Mercy half. Mercy dead. Baby D.Va, baby D.Va, baby D.Va.
Yeah, that's a good recall. I don't mind that. That's good. Nice. Okay. So, so far, your brawling, your fighting, brawling capabilities seem decent. Again, for that entire fight, would have liked to see you start that fight when you were already in a flanking position behind or on the sides of your opponents. So actually, like I was saying earlier, yeah, so like where I would have liked you is kind of like either around here, which is a little bit dangerous because you're kind of, you don't have the high ground to retreat to, or kind of up here, which is on the high ground. So that's where I was referring to earlier. That's kind of where I like you to start that fight and press your opponent's back line.
They're up top, they're all up top.
Okay, well, okay, this is actually pretty dangerous. Specifically because you killed Tracer and I think D.Va last. So, well, they're probably, at this point in time, they're probably already up there. So, okay, yeah, actually, I think this is fine. Yes, okay, good.
Thank you.
And because, actually, you don't, I usually say to crouch in these situations, but because they're probably already engaged in a fight, and also because they're going for the point, as we can hear, and it says, you can actually press this quickly. You don't have to take your time. You actually need to hurry.
Oh my God.
Good, this is good. Yes, okay, so I like that pulse bomb. Obviously, you missed it, but, oh, you didn't have it yet.
Oh my God, I got.
Oh, that was the problem. Okay, okay, this is good. This is fine. I like it. I like that pulse bomb. You missed it, but I like it still. Actually, that being said, how much health did she have?
Oh my God, I got picked.
Okay, yeah. No, it's fine, it's fine. And there's a good chance if you stick her that actually kills Winston too, or rather the pulse bomb tags Winston. It's a good blizzard. Oh, I love Mei. Okay, so wow. Okay, so right there, very greedy with your recall. So greedy. Yeah, 50 health. Your recall's up. Don't be afraid to burn it, especially with the tac visor. I think you were going for this health pack. Ah, but he got it first. But still, even if you were trying to do that, I think that's a pretty damn risky play. Considering he was so close to the health pack. Like if he was, like a nice, I don't know, 4 or 5 meters away from it, that would have been one thing. But let's see it again. It's like right here, you make that call, and he's like what, 1 or 2 meters away from it, so pretty risky. And you were just a little bit too slow to make that decision. So I would have liked to just seen the safer recall. Like obviously, if you're trying to get on Reddit and make, flashy clutch plays, that's one thing. But if you're just trying to climb, reliably, you want to make the safer calls. And as time goes on, as you get better, you'll learn what's safe and what's not, what's risky, when you need to take risks, things like that. So you die here, not surprised.
Wow.
And I like that
my God,
flank.
Gorilla.
It was actually unfortunate that you were a little bit slow to well, actually, no. The problem is with flanks like that, you need a team that knows that you're going to try to do that flank and then, rotate around your opponents accordingly and not start a fight too early. And if the opponents start a fight, then they know they have to disengage and wait for you to get into position. So I love that kind of flanking, but you need to be really fast about doing those kinds of flanks. And what I mean by fast is you need to plan them early during downtime. Otherwise, you'll be too late, as we saw. So I love it. Just work on doing it sooner. And, you know, and basically that's going to come with planning. Like, okay, there's downtime. I can get in position. I can hide here. And then after this amount of time has passed, you know, because this person's respawning, then I can go and get here, this position, and push forward, etc., etc. Otherwise, you're putting yourself at like the whim of your teammates to do, you know, the right thing. So, cool.
Went full blown after me.
Oh, whoa. So, again, kind of the same problem where you're going straight on to the point. That's just not what Tracer does. Tracer looks for flanks, look for the flanking routes. They're safer. She can get through them quickly, and you know, and wreak havoc on the back line, on the opponent back line. Okay.
Do I have to beg for an orb right now?
Oh, shut up. So similar problem, like right here, you're kind of like, actually this is a pretty good example. So like you can see your opponents, presumably some of them are on the high ground, right? You're on the low ground. You can see it with this position. You can only attack their front line, their tanks mostly, while you're open to the fire, the line of sight from your opponents, and you have a hard time returning fire. So you'd be much better off if you were up here with them, ideally behind them. Sorry, these drawings are horrible, but I think you understand. Hopefully, okay. So just like the whole premise behind your approach to these fights is pretty, like it just feels like you're just trying to muscle through and outplay your opponents, which is fine. Like those are skills you need to master. You know, fighting under, you know, conditions which are not in your favor. That's great. But if you want to just, you know, climb, you need to play in a more strategic manner, and that's the only reason why I'm top 500 is because I can, you know, play in a way that manipulates my opponent's movements that put me in the best position possible, and I don't have to, you know, like be super sick at like aiming and tracking and stuff like that, because to be honest, I pretty much suck at that. For a top 500 player, like it's pretty bad. So, all right, and now you're kind of just stuck in this room. Oh, I like what you're doing. You kind of abandon that, and you're gonna look for a flank, hopefully on this left side. So what I don't want you to do is just push up. I want you to go around on this left side. And actually, just to be extra clear, extra crystal clear, not this way, not this way. I want you to go do that left side room. Okay, let's see what you do.
Oh my god, back up, back up, back up. Oh.
Oh, that was, wait, really? Let me see that.
Oh my god, back up, back up, back
Oh,
up.
okay.
Oh.
Wait, I'm not sure why you recalled.
Back up. Oh.
109. Okay, that's fine. And your team just wiped. Well, you didn't wipe, but the push is over, presumably.
We're staggering so far.
I don't think that was a stagger. Not technically, at least.
Yo, let's go. We have to commit, guys. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Let's go.
Gotta go.
Nice pulse bomb though. I typically don't like head-on pulse bombs, but that was well executed.
Winnable, 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 winnable. Oh no.
What do you have? Okay, what?
Soldier's one.
Okay, looks like you guys lose this. Okay, so I love the commentary from your teammates. This is why I mute voice chat. By the way, I want to give you props on your comms, because what I've heard you say so far, just like I think you said Tracer no recall twice, and then you said something else. I don't recall it, but I don't recall. Your comms so far, it seemed clean. Like you're giving pertinent information. You're not trying to, like, you know, say things that are useless, or not necessarily useless, but like, you know, pointless when you're playing with 5 strangers for the first time, and you know you have to quickly work together. You want to when you're in solo queue, you want your comms to be very simple, very basic. You don't want to give high level advice or, you know, things like that. I mean, within reason. Anyways, enough about that. Cool. All right, playing the D.Va. Cool. Sticking to the D.Va. Okay.
I'm playing on the right.
So you're behind. Actually, this like similar to what you did with Tracer last time. You're actually behind your opponents, and with both heroes, you actually want to be in front. Well, specifically D.Va front line and Tracer front, as in, you know, has a head start to get flanking positions. Oh, I hate that dive by Winston. Oh, although he has the Mei wall. That's an excellent Mei wall. Ooh, that is sick. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Yeah, the D.Va a little bit slow there, but that's okay. Nice, nice. Oh, okay, that DM was pretty bad. So right here. Right here, you DM for like a solid second, maybe a little bit longer. That does nothing. So you want to be careful with that kind of stuff. And then you don't have it for the baby D.Va, which is fine because left clicking her is perfectly reasonable in that situation. But just, you know, some wasted DM time. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Your Mei is, I think your Mei is pretty good. Whoa, don't know what that was. We'll call that a mechanical error. So, okay, so this entire time you're not doing very much. I would have liked to see you. Well, okay, there's two things. First, would have liked to seen some better tracking. I feel like actually your tracking not so great on D.Va, but on Tracer I was actually pretty happy with it. I'm not quite sure why that is. Maybe it's just maybe I'm wrong. Okay. So, and then as soon as you saw this bubble, I would have liked to see you boost in either onto the Winston or to the left. So like either boost this way to start to get really close to him. That way, as soon as his bubble's gone, you can start DPSing him, or maybe just start DPSing him right away, depending on the circumstances. Or go left and push out this way. See if you can find anyone in this blizzard. Yeah, basically something like that. So instead, you kind of stay here. We'll see what you do now. You kind of stay at this distance. Okay, you boost in eventually. Okay. Nice, nice. Okay, now the question is, do you use D.Va Ultimate? This is the perfect opportunity to look for that D.Va Ultimate. I'm not saying do it right now, but perhaps soon. And for the record, if you can react quickly enough after the res, D.Va Ultimate will click maybe like a second after the invulnerability frames end. If you react really quickly, so it can actually be a pretty good zoning tool, and you might even pick up kills. So cool. Not a great DM. You're DMing, you know, Zarya left clicks and Tesla cannon, so not great. I think you're anticipating some right clicks from Zarya. You're better off just doing some damage. That being said, I think they had bubbles up and you didn't want to attack the bubbles. So let me see that again. Okay. Yeah, I don't hate that, I guess. So let's see. Right here. Right here's a perfect opportunity. You're on low health. Look for darn, I should have done full one. Look for a D.Va Ultimate. Slide it with this wall. Oh, I need a different color. Let's go with green. This wall right here. If you can slide it in such a way that makes it hard for your opponents to know if it's going to end up closer on this left side or closer on this right side, that's more likely to net you kills. Creates panic, creates zones for your team to work with, creates space, etc. So I would like to see that like right now. Yeah, that's probably not going to get you kills unless your opponents misplay this. That being said, doing this to get your D.Va suit back is fine, I think.
I almost have tactical visor. Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive.
So right here, right there, you can start hearing left clicks from Tracer. Although now that I think about it, I don't know if that's the enemy Tracer or an ally Tracer. Do you guys even have a Tracer? Well, regardless, you know, if you probably knew at the time if you had an enemy Tracer or an ally Tracer. So you could decide if you could turn around to the left and DM that.
Almost have tactical visor. Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive.
Back.
And like D.Va and Tracer have a pretty interesting relationship when they're opposing each other. It's pretty interesting because she goes through her clips so quickly that you can actually, just like if you literally just tap DM and just look at her, you'll eat up a lot of her bullets. You don't necessarily need to like hold it down for the entire duration, which doesn't even take very long. She goes through her clip really quickly. Yeah, you can actually just kind of like tap it and just consume a lot of her power that way. So you know, so when you do hear those Tracer left clicks, you can actually just quickly turn around, tap it, and eat a good amount of her clip. But you have to be quick. Okay.
What's this tap?
So I can tell that you're having trouble with your DM because you don't have like obvious targets to DM aside from like Tracer. Who else do they have? And the soldier who's been at further distances. He's been playing, his positioning has been pretty decent. So what that tells me then is that in this situation, like, so hopefully as a player, actually I'm gonna have to cut this VOD pretty soon, so I'm gonna start wrapping up. Hopefully as a player, you can feel that. You can feel like, oh, I feel like I'm not being very good with my DMs. Like, I'm DMing like Tesla cannons and Zarya left clicks, which doesn't do anything. So hopefully, if you can feel that should be a red flag. Oh crap, okay, that means I need to be somewhere else, or I should just be left clicking more. So that means you have two options. Help your Zenyatta more against Tracer. Oh yeah, okay, so we just saw that. Okay, yeah, so they have a Tracer. And you don't have a Tracer. Okay, so earlier that was Tracer. So you can either make a decision, a conscious decision. Okay, I need to help my Zenyatta more, watch his back, and maybe like your Soldier 2 or Lucio or something. But most likely your Zen. Give him some DMs. Find when Tracer collapses on him, flanks him. Look out for that. Help him out. Be vigilant. Or your other option is to stuff the enemy soldier. Get in his face. Get some DMs on him. Make his life hell, kind of nullify him, and then in that way, he'll probably ask for teammates to kind of help him out, and you'll be creating pressure on the opponent's side, which will then alleviate pressure on off of your teammates. So that's kind of the general idea. Okay, so let's let this run a little bit while I kind of wrap up my commentary. Tracer needs way more flanking. You had that one really good flank. But it was unfortunately a little bit too you didn't start it soon enough. You got to be started very soon, especially in solo queue. Yeah, this is good. I like what you're doing here. Just eat it, and then okay. So darn, I would have actually. I think you did that too early. Let me see that. D.Va ultimate so much better with booster. When you combo it. Yeah, it looks like you did it. Let me see that one more time. Yeah, it looks like you did it way too early. Right. 181 it looks like. So if you would have, it would have been nice if you could just held it on. Maybe you get to combo it with the booster because it was coming up in like a second and a half maybe. So you DM, you deplete it. Yeah, I had about a second and a half left on it. So there's a small chance actually you could have used it with, you could have slid it off a wall like we talked about earlier, and then you're more likely to get kills and you still create space. Cool. So yeah, more flanks for the Tracer. What else? You were greedy with recall like once, maybe twice, so that's not a huge problem. But make sure you're not greedy with your recalls. Blink usage seemed fine. Tracking seemed okay. Obviously, everyone can always work on their tracking. I do think you could probably hit GM with your current like ability and aim. Just if you take these strategic tips, I think you can climb to GM just with that alone. What else? Pulse bomb usage. You had a head-on pulse bomb that landed, but I typically don't like head-on pulse bombs. You had one from behind on that Mercy, which I do like, but you actually missed. That was actually because you were at like 98%. You didn't quite have it. If you had already had it, there's a good chance that you actually land that really easy pulse bomb onto Mercy. But nothing you can do about that. You're at 98%. Obviously, maybe if your aim was just a little bit better, you would have had it at that point. And then you land a behind. A pulse bomb from the back, and then you kill Mercy, and then maybe even Winston. Okay, what else? D.Va, DMing, the DMing thing we just talked about. Work on that. I think that'll help you a lot. Ultimate usage, not so great. Try to slide it off walls. Make sure you combo it with booster. And what else? I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, cool. So I hope this video was helpful, and if you liked it, please subscribe. Thank you.